This summary of Stand and Deliver by Dale Carnegie will teach you how to speak effectively in public. Introduction. Anyone is capable of public speaking. You can become a powerful speaker regardless of who you are or how you feel about speaking in front of an audience. To do so, acquire as much information as possible about your topic. 10 to 2 weeks prior to your presentation, devote 20 minutes to writing at least 50 questions about your topic. Learn their responses in another session. This will assist you in outlining your speech. Now, begin practicing repeatedly, in your mind, while driving, in front of a mirror, and with your friends. In a modern setting, old-fashioned oratory, in which the speaker unleashes all manner of verbal fireworks, is ineffective. You should not memorize your speech. Your memory might fail you at the podium. Instead, be so well versed in the topic that you can speak naturally, using your prepared responses as your main points. As you practice, the structure of your presentation will take shape. Speak normally, not in a forced or dramatic manner. Practice accenting various words and phrases. Change your timing, vocal pitch, and delivery. Try speaking at various speeds to determine which is most effective. Principle Concept 1. Be yourself. Communicate from the heart. Be honest with yourself. Both Dale Carnegie and Earl Nightingale, who were both outstanding public speakers, spoke naturally, each according to his own personality, background, and natural abilities. Carnegie's Missouri farm roots allowed him to speak freely and naturally, as if he were conversing with a neighbor. Nightingale, who possessed an exceptionally powerful voice, was a well-known radio broadcaster for over 3 decades. His dramatic delivery was entirely dissimilar to Carnegie's. Yet both were well-respected public speakers because they were themselves. The most effective way to appear knowledgeable is to be knowledgeable. Anonymous. Carnegie and Nightingale, like all effective orators, made their audiences the focal point of their speeches. Every audience enjoys hearing about themselves. Popular public speaker Russell Conwell delivered his most famous speech, Acres of Diamonds, nearly 6,000 times. Each time he delivered the speech in a different location, he modified it accordingly. Prior to each speaking engagement, Conwell consulted with local ministers, school principals, and barbers to determine what was on the minds of the community. Consequently, he delivered his address accordingly. Be aware of both your audience and yourself. Dress impeccably. Move around the stage in a methodical, limited manner. Use eye contact to establish rapport with your audience. Principle Concept 2. Does the thought of public speaking make you wish to hide yourself? You can overcome your fear of public speaking, but you must first have a genuine desire to communicate with your audience. Imagine you are a messenger who must deliver an important message. William James, a renowned psychologist, taught that bravery is derived from simply acting bravely. Utilize this method on stage. Remind yourself of the advantages of public speaking effectiveness. Use props when you speak in public to take your mind off of yourself. Human beings are talking beings. The most effective way to overcome a fear of any activity is to perform it repeatedly until it becomes second nature. This rule applies to all aspects of life, such as public speaking. Give yourself credit for your preparation of the speech. Allow your hard work to propel you forward on stage. While you are speaking, refrain from evaluating your performance until later. Don't let anyone distract or discourage you. Learn from your speech's failure so you can deliver a more effective speech in the future. Each day, devote 1 hour to developing your writing skills. List your objectives and jot down 20 steps you can take immediately to embed them in your subconscious mind. Instead of logical processes, suggestion or instinct produce persuasion. When Stephen King first began writing, he was a poor laundry worker who received rejection notice after rejection notice from publishers. After receiving 2 rejections, he discarded the manuscript for his novel Carrie. It was retrieved by his wife, who then sent it to Doubleday, which published it. Millions of copies of Carrie were sold, and King was on his way to fame and fortune. Principle Concept 3. Have you heard the rumor about? Humor is a valuable tool for public speakers, but you don't need to be funny to use it. Nevertheless, you must convey to your audience that you want them to laugh during your speech, you want them to be happy. Integrate humor into your presentation without using awkward transitions such as "that reminds me of a story." Sincerity must be accompanied by intensity. In addition to your authenticity, you must convey your energy. As the comedian and allegedly notorious tightwad Jack Benny did on his radio show, one way to inject humor into a presentation is to make yourself the punchline. In a famous skit, a robber held Benny at gunpoint and demanded his money or his life. As Benny's pause grew longer, the audience erupted in uncontrollable laughter. After his audience regained composure, the robber repeated his demand, "I said your money or your life." The measured response of Benny was, "I'm thinking. I'm thinking." Benny's portrayal of a miser in a supposed life or death situation elicited another round of raucous laughter from the audience. His humorous self-deprecation was a hit. Obviously, use comedy with discretion. Ensure that the context of your speech is conducive to humor. Principal Concept 4. Tell stories about other people. Great orators personalize their topics with stories and anecdotes in their speeches. Focus your anecdotes on others, rather than on yourself, unless they reveal something significant and personal about you. Such stories move the hearts of your audience. Abraham Lincoln was an expert at incorporating such anecdotes into his speeches for the purpose of providing emotional relief from the intellectual content. Imitate Lincoln. Inspire thought and emotion in your audience. Narratives and anecdotes aid the audience in perceiving your emotions and contemplating your message. When the main idea is presented with emotion and contagious enthusiasm, opposing ideas are much less likely to develop. Touching audience members' emotions creates a close bond with each individual. This is what President Franklin D. Roosevelt did with his radio broadcasts titled Fireside Chats. Roosevelt always imagined that he was speaking to a single individual, someone who was sitting next to him. Even though he could not see his audience, he spoke with a smile and friendly gestures. The same applies to your speeches. Choose your words carefully. Don't use big words when simpler ones will suffice. Don't use 30 words when 15 will suffice. Introduce your key points, and then reiterate them. Principal Concept 5. Create non-rhetorical rhetoric. People give public speeches for 3 reasons: to inform, to entertain, and to inspire action. This is by far the most prevalent option. If the purpose of your speech is to inspire others to take action, you want the audience to respond with "Let's march," rather than "That was a beautiful speech." Clarify your objective by engaging your audience members' emotions and gaining their trust. Be sincere, earnest, and straightforward to forge a strong connection and convince people to line up enthusiastically, regardless of how absurd your proposal may be. Tell them what you intend to say. Tell them. Then tell them what you just told them. Use your personal experiences to add color and significance to your speech while supporting your main point with facts. To encourage audience members to take action, appeal to their desires, such as their desire for personal gain or their aversion to loss. An essential human desire is to be admired. Lincoln grew a beard to appear authoritative and gain credibility. He desired admiration from others. When you help audience members feel proud of themselves, you create the optimal environment for persuading them to take the actions you recommend. Principal Concept 6. You need a fast start. Utilize an effective introduction to make a lasting impression on your audience. Plan and practice every word at the beginning of your important speech. Use words that immediately pique your audience's interest. If you do not capture their attention within the first 5 seconds, you are doomed. Pique their interest. Declare a result to pique their curiosity about the cause. Hold up something they want to see and learn more about, or ask them a question. Having a great opening that makes audience members sit on the edge of their seats is a terrific way to develop confidence as a speaker. Such confidence can carry you through to the end of your speech. Principal Concept 7. Persuade your audience. Audiences can be skeptical, but you can use 3 techniques to convince them to adopt your point of view. Present a rational argument, excite emotions, and use your strength of character and personality as influential levers. No matter which approach you take, frame your message in a compelling way by using the 5 building blocks of persuasion. Invention. Determine the best, most creative way to declare your point. You want to make a memorable statement, like President John F. Kennedy did in his inaugural address when he said, "The torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans." Arrangement. Take care with the way you organize the ideas in your speech and how you introduce your theme. Establish 3 parts in your speech: a beginning, a middle, and an end. Style. You will project your personality through the words you choose and the way you write your speech. Decide which traits to embody. Use a style that fits the occasion while being true to yourself. Memory. While you should not learn your speech by heart, you have easy to recall mileposts, such as 6 major points, so you can concentrate and stay on track. Delivery. The manner in which you say things, how you physically speak, is your delivery. It is strictly an audio channel, and getting it right requires lots of practice. Make sure you have finished speaking before your audience has finished listening. American performer Dorothy Sarnoff. To influence your audience, use the power of suggestion instead of arguing. People want to believe, they do not welcome doubt. Make your audience believe you by introducing memorable concepts and wiping out any contradictory ideas from their consideration. If you present your main ideas in a strong, convincing, and enthusiastic fashion, opposing ideas will find little purchase. Enthusiasm is contagious. Repetition is persuasive. You can say the same thing over and over, but don't say it the same way twice. Change it a bit. Present your main ideas in several different ways so you don't sound boring. Trade on positive associations to influence the audience. Principle Concept 8. The Magic Formula. Decades ago, Dale Carnegie Training developed a surefire plan for public speaking, the 3-step magic formula. Use it to motivate audience members to take action. Share some type of personal experience that relates to a specific action you want your listeners to take. Deliver a lesson by recreating your personal experience so vividly that it has the same impact on the members of your audience as it did on you. Put your heart in your words. Directly ask your listeners to carry out the action you are recommending. As briefly and as concretely as possible, tell them what you want them to do. Explain what advantage they will gain by doing so. In brief, tell the audience how they will benefit from taking action as you suggest. It's quite simple. Say what you have to say, and when you come to a sentence with a grammatical ending, sit down. Winston Churchill. This speech plan is ideal for 2 to 3 minute speeches. Audience members will quickly become emotionally involved in your personal story, but they won't catch on to your primary speech point until your speech is nearly over, a powerful moment of revelation. Principle Concept 9. Wrapping things up. Make the end of your speech as memorable as the opening. Plan it just as carefully. Write your ending. Practice until it flows naturally. Do not end your speech with a trite, "Thank you." Instead, end it with words and thoughts that the members of your audience will not forget. Never waste their time, always involve them, and never talk for too long. It usually takes me more than 3 weeks to prepare a good impromptu speech. Mark Twain. The question and answer session after your speech is another opportunity to engage your listeners. This wrap-up period gives you an opportunity to clarify your message and emphasize your main points. Control the Q&A period by setting a time limit so audience members know how long they have to pose questions and receive your answers. Be sincere, be brief, be seated. Franklin D. Roosevelt. Establish proper eye contact with the people who ask questions. If you don't know the answer to a question, be honest and tell the questioner that you don't know. Don't let any question deflect you from your main message. Final summary. Many people greatly fear public speaking. However, anyone can learn how to deliver strong speeches. It's a matter of knowing what to do and how to do it, and being determined to do it well. Practice giving numerous speeches to eliminate any fear of public speaking. The first rule of speechmaking is to learn all you can about your topic. The second is to rehearse over and over until you know your speech thoroughly. Never learn a speech by heart. You may suffer a memory lapse at the podium. Be earnest and sincere when you speak before an audience. Such winning personality traits will quickly get the crowd on your side. Audiences love to hear about themselves, so always work information about them into your speech. To win over listeners, add relevant, personal anecdotes and stories to your speeches. When you speak, use simple words, but not too many of them. And whatever you do, don't speak for too long. Thanks for watching. You can grab a copy of this book by clicking the link in the description box. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share with family and friends.